All of the ceasefire talks are between Israelis, and they're between Americans and Israelis. And then they take their proposal to Hamas and it's rejected because the proposal is essentially a surrender agreement, which would guarantee Israeli occupation in the Gaza Strip. But the future with surrender doesn't change. It doesn't all of a sudden Gaza turns into a free zone where people live happily ever after. It just entrenches this permanent regime of cruelty. So there's no ceasefire agreement.
If the United States wanted to end this, if Israel wanted to end it, they could end it. It's not like there's these complicated issues and they're trying to bridge these gaps and they just can't get there. It's that they don't want an agreement. I think that there's two factors that are going to make a difference here to getting a negotiation. First and foremost, the resistance. If they can inflict enough pain on the Israeli army to force Israel to agree to a ceasefire and an end to the war. And that's their strategy. That's what we've seen, as John has been showing us. June was the deadliest month for the Israeli army in Gaza in more than a year, and July is proceeding along a similar pattern. Abu Ubaida's speech, which came after a long video absence, I think what was very significant is he said, we're ready for a long war of attrition. So they realize that you can't achieve negotiations without, to use Netanyahu's term, military pressure. Hamas is putting, and the resistance factions are putting military pressure on Israel by stepping up the targeting of their soldiers and attempting to capture them. And then the other factor is going to be external pressure. We talked about how the governments are not putting pressure on Israel yet, but that's where people power comes in and cannot let up. There was a big protest just yesterday in New York City. There's a protest in Chicago today. There are actions all over the country and all over the world, and that pressure has to step up and continue.
I was watching footage from a massive protest in Morocco over the weekend. I'm always reminded of the port workers in Marrakesh and Tangiers that are stopping their work. They will not unload or load ships bound for Israel. And that's where the pressure is also going to come, is the economic pressure. Yemen is still enforcing its humanitarian intervention. One of Israel's biggest and most important ports is closed.
One of its three ports. So if that's what Yemen can do, what could the EU do? What could the Arab states do?